Hello friends, welcome again. We are dealing with now the second part of the hemodynamic system, that is which is related to blood vessels and the blood. We have seen the heart now. Now the second part is a blood vessel, the piping system, which is present as a part of a cardiovascular system. The piping system also has its own parameters like blood pressure first of all. Then that blood pressure can be of at a different part. So arterial blood pressure it can be, capillary and venous blood pressure. Then diameter of a blood vessel, how the diameter of a blood vessel take a part in a parameter, and flow of a blood, and that is leading to the perfusion of a tissue. Many times there is a deficiency of a blood to the particular area, and by which you can have some abnormalities or something like that way. For example, most of the time you might have experienced that afternoon lectures are little bit lazy due to the you are taking a full stomach of food, and the blood is perfused towards the gastrointestinal tract, and therefore there is a deficiency of blood towards the brain and you are feeling little bit lazy. That is a flow of a blood, perfusion of a tissues, it like type of things it is happening. So same kind of thing is also happening whenever the blood flow is concerned. Then next parameter which we will be dealing is the blood pressure regulation. What are the various regulation system which are present in a blood, like cardiac? The blood pressure is also regulated by the heart. How, if it is cardiac output is more, then the blood pressure will be different. If it is low, if the force of contraction is there, so positive chronotropic, positive inotropic, this parameters governs the blood pressure. Diameter of the artery or diameter of a blood, not artery, we can say blood vessel, that also lead to the blood pressure, change in the blood pressure. If diameter is narrow, then more will be the blood pressure. So again, the status of ANS and endocrine system, that also govern the blood vessels and blood pressure. So how then next parameter will be the regulation of measurement of a blood pressure, how the blood pressure will be measured. It is also called as a sphygmomanometer, or instrument, or a sphygmomanometry, the technique by which the blood pressure is measured. Now simply if we take towards the blood pressure, then what is a blood pressure? Blood pressure is nothing but a hydrostatic pressure which is exerted by a flowing blood pushing against the wall of your arteries. Hydrostatic pressure, it is a physical pressure, like it is pushing. So the blood is pushing the blood vessels from inside, and specifically the arteries. So there are two types of blood pressure, systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Systolic blood pressure means it is an upper limit. Whenever the heart is contracting, at that time it is exerting the pressure on the blood, so it is pushing the blood into the systemic circulation, and the maximum amount of pressure exerted in such a way on a blood and enters onto the arteries, the maximum amount, the maximum peak level, the maximum amount of a pressure which is exerted by flowing blood on the wall. So it is a maximum pushing pressure. It is a systolic. And diastolic is the lowest. Whenever the heart relaxes, at that time it gives the minimum pressure on the outgoing blood. So it is the lowest pressure which is exerted on the wall during the relaxation of the heart. So systolic during the contraction, diastolic the minimum during the relaxation, maximum during the contractions. So normally it is the 120 mm of Hg to the systolic and 80 mm of Hg for the diastolic. Mm of Hg, here's millimeter of mercury, means if you take a column of a mercury, then that column, if it is 120 mm, at the bottom what will be the force? So 120 mm, and if it is reduced down to 80 mm, so ultimately the amount the force that pressure will be drop down. So if the column is 80, then it is 80 mm of Hg. So Normally it is this pressure will be, whenever it is systolic, it is column of 120 mm of mercury, heaviest metal, liquid metal, and whenever it is diastolic, it is lowest pressure, which is around 80 mm of Hg. Now this blood pressure is actually a relative term. It is a relative term. Whenever we say an elevated blood pressure, here in the chart it is given, that is 120 to 129. If it is more than the 120, then it is elevated. If it is less than that, then it is also called as a elevated blood pressure, with the higher blood pressure. But it is a relative term. High blood pressure means 130 to 139, 80 to 89. High blood pressure with the hypertension stage 2, it is more than 140. Hypertensive crisis means higher than 180, and the diastolic pressure is more than 180. But again, I am telling you it is a relative term, because what happens is that as per the demand of the body, as per your activity, this blood pressure is always fluctuating. And when there is a consistency in elevation without any reason, then it is a blood pressure. So if you are doing something, jogging and something, going for the walk, and you are climbing the staircase, and you sit down and then you measure the blood pressure at that time, you may find that your blood pressure is around 130 to 90 or 140 to 90. Then as per this chart, you will be hypertensive, but you are not, because at that point your body demand increases, and as per that demand the blood pressure has increased, so it is normal. So you are not hypertensive at that time. But similarly, if you are just sitting calm and quiet, not doing nothing, you are relaxing, you are calm and quiet, still if your blood pressure, now at that point your blood pressure should be 120 to by 80, and at that point it is 140 to 90, and definitely it is higher. Same blood pressure is found whenever the person is came from outside by jogging or climbing the staircase, but for that person it is normal, for you it is abnormal, because you are not done, your body demands are not there, but still you are elevated, provided that this elevation should also be a consistent at different times. So it is not like that where at one time it is observed and another time it is not observed. It should be consistent, because only the physical activity does not govern the blood pressure. Like your mental status also govern the elevated blood pressure. If you are looking for some horror movie, you are looking the horror movie, or you are going under the emotional stress, at that time also your blood pressure will elevate. And even if you are calm and quiet, even if you are sitting down and not doing any kind of a physical activity, if you are under the mental stress, your blood pressure will go high, and that is also considered as a normal. It is not considered as an hypertension. Okay, so it should be a consistently elevated blood pressure, and then this chart will be applicable. So the normal value will be 120 by 80, the high blood pressure around 140 to 90, above 140 and 90 it will be a higher blood pressure, and if it is going above 180, then it is called as a hypertensive crisis. This is called. So the blood pressure, it is like measurement and their values, and they're like this way. So if we are going for the measurement of a blood pressure, then how it is done actually? So measuring the blood pressure, it is also called as the instrument by which it is called as measure is called as a sphygmomanometer. In this figure, I have taken it from some website, nursestore.com. I will post one video after this. After part 2, you will see the one video where there will be a needle is also dancing. So whenever there is a more pressure, there will be a smooth flowing up, and whenever there is a pulsatile nature, the needle will start dancing. And after once it will go below the diastolic, then again it will start. So just you have to monitor at what point it has been started dancing, that is pulsatile movement, and at what point it has stopped. So that 2 points, the first point is a systolic and second point is a diastolic. So this is the basic principle of a measurement of a blood pressure, by how the blood pressure is measured. We will have one video after this also, and you can see that video how the blood pressure will be measured practically, how it is done. Okay. So next part of it is the uh, blood. So blood is the connective tissue which is flowing through this cardiovascular system. Principally is composed of two-part formed elements and the plasma. Formed elements means blood vessels, and sorry, not blood vessels, I'm sorry, blood cells, and major fraction in that is the RBCs. Very basic function of a blood is transportation, protection and regulation, and these are the only parameters. Transportation means flowing and supply. It picks up the material from one place and supply it to the other. It picks up the waste material and throw it to the excretory organs. So this is the transportation. Everything which is transported from one place to the other inside our body, right from your food material which is absorbed, and waste material which is thrown, the hormones which are secreted, and everything, drugs, whatever you are taking, it is taken from one place to the other place. Every transportation is done by the blood, the flow and supply. The second is the protection, second part which is done by the protection. Three functions we have already studied in your first year BPharm. There's clotting mechanism, there is procoagulant mechanism and anticoagulant mechanism. Clotting, a systemic way by which the leakage of the artery can be stopped. Procoagulant, that is clotting only, and anticoagulant means accidentally even the blood should not clot inside the blood vessels, that is anticoagulant. So there are two mechanisms which are parallelly taken place inside your blood. There's one is a procoagulant and second is anticoagulant. So there is a race in between the procoagulant and anticoagulant mechanism which are taking place. So normally whenever blood is flowing through the blood vessel, it does not clot, but if something happens then it will clot. So there is nothing but the balance between this procoagulant and anticoagulant mechanism. And the very last part is the regulation, that is defense mechanism. There are different types of cells which are present. There are type of components are present like T lymphocyte cells, antigen, antibodies, which are working as a defense mechanism inside our body. So these are the parameters which are really, now you are knowing very well. You can pause your video over here and you write down the various normal values. You are knowing very well what are the normal counts, bleeding time, clotting time, RBCs, WBCs, whatever the different and you can verify it from your first year knowledge also. So this is what about the different mechanisms by which your cardiovascular system is governed. So these are all about the hemodynamic system. We will see into the next lecture the different phases of the electrocardiogram, sorry, not electrocardiogram, electrophysiology. This part we have already again finished in the previous semester, but this is a part, a secondary part in terms of a cardiovascular system, how this electrophysiology is behaving. So thank you very much for watching.